All right, good evening, GGL members. Welcome to another edition of the Mac and the Moose Show. Mac, how?
Good. Picked up Aaron Judge for another 9 years. Wish it was
All
for
right.
7, but we'll welcome him back into the team.
Yeah, big night for the Yankees and big week for the GGL. Not only last week, which we're going to go over in a second, but forward as well. So I think we should jump right into
Jump in.
week 30 scores.
All right. So first up, we have Bill versus myself. Bill, very bad performance. Don't know if ETN's washed up or not. And besides a few games, Kittle has not been there this year. So I didn't see anything good coming out of that.
Yeah, good for you. Your team hot. Unfortunately, you're not in the East, which you'd be a playoff team basically with that record in the East. But West, you need a little bit too little, too late. But on the flip side, Bill's team kind of started to show some weaknesses. Obviously, we'll talk about playoffs in a bit. This was a big loss for him. He's now in a must-win game, and he basically put all of his stock to a quarterback that looked terrible on Sunday, which was Deshaun Watson. I think that's going to get much better. We will see. But yeah, big win for you, Mac. Things a lot more interesting in the West. It obviously was a game of pride for your team, and your team's, like I said, getting hot at the right time. You can win the consolation award, I guess, at that point. Award
Whoever I'd want, I guess.
Whoever you want. So we'll have to circle to that at some point. That is something that I think we should probably discuss, is what happens when Matt wins the I guess your spot in the league just automatically gets their pick of the draft order, good win for you, Mac.
And I do have something more when it comes to the consolation bracket later that I'm kind of throwing out there too. I'm not saying it has to stick, but I'll have a little something there for that. But yeah, great win.
Cool.
Everyone besides 2 players and the defense had double digits.
There you go.
So I was pretty happy with that. But next up, we have Logan versus Eddie. I thought Eddie was going to do it. Logan, you're still not going to win another fucking game. You're going to be a one and done in the playoffs. We got really lucky this week. Cowboys putting up 21 points. Geno Smith putting up 30. Jimmy Garoppolo's gone. He's not going to have anything left. He's going to start freaking out. I think he's going to have a little problem here.
I will say the one thing I think did Logan a favor is that the fact that G getting hurt. I mentioned this a few podcasts ago when he made his trade for Jared Goff, is that he was basically just going to play the wreck each week, and he basically has done that. He's played Jimmy G in weeks where he's off, so at least this makes it pretty clear that he's got to play Jared Goff. So I would say that injury obviously is because it kills his depth, but I think it allows him to not make the wrong decision. I think you made a pretty statement when he made all those trades. He wasn't going to win again, and his team was going to suffer. And although he won this week, he's not really playing for much. He's basically cemented. So I think about looking forward isn't truly a championship competitor, and I think the answer is at this point no, because of some of the recent he's made, and he'll tell us in the group chat, Mac, that his team's so good, and then 2 days later he'll say how they are. So he doesn't even know if they're good or not. On the flip side, obviously, believe it or not, is still alive for the playoffs, and although he's getting out of Herbert, and even Lockett are starting to perform at a much higher level. The rest pretty flawed, as we've kind of talked about all year. A miracle to make the playoff. But yeah, it was a big win for Logan. And what I mean by that is it was a big win for Walt, who now will most likely make the playoffs.
Yeah, and Bill, the only thing that really saved Eddie on this one was having DK and Tyler
Yeah.
Lockett playing. Thought that Bucks defense was going to be able to do something, but E- Eddie's going to really another must-win situation. We're going to have that a lot this week. Everybody is
And
is
then,
bad.
obviously, Logan wants to win. Logan, obviously, like a good fantasy owner, wants to win every week. But in reality, it almost wasn't a bad thing because then it made Eddie more likely to make playoffs. I think
Been a
Eddie
better
obviously
matchup for you,
would have been a better matchup, but
right?
obviously Logan, like he should, put together the best lineup he could. Fortunately, he he won, but unfortunately for Logan's playoffs, he's probably got to play Walt now, which will be a tougher matchup.
Well, I don't know. We'll get into that here in a minute. But next up, we had the easy one: Josiah versus Carter. Carter back down under a 100-point game there. So I think we're gonna have a real matchup between you and Josiah. I think these are the two teams. I can see a little weakness in Josiah's team here, but I think all around it's when you have Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, you're gonna be perfectly fine. Plus now you have Nick Chubb going with Deshaun Watson, who fucking can't
Yeah.
throw the ball, so they're gonna be running the ball a lot more. Um, but strong performance.
Yeah, I mean, just just so much. So like for him, the win didn't mean much. Obviously for Carter, the loss meant more if Kyle would have found a way to win. I think these are just two going in complete opposite directions, right? Carter, a mainstay in the playoffs for how many years, and now I think this is his year. He's starting to bow. And on the opposite end, Josiah has had struggled playoffs for a handful of years. His franchise is now going in the right direction. So I think you just had a classic up and down matchup here where one team's on 10 straight losses for Carter. He'll have to regroup. And Josiah, he's on a very long week. Let me just double check. I think it's maybe 9 games. He on a 9-game winning streak, so I'm playing very well. His major thing is, can he get 3 receivers week in, week out? Garrett Wilson, who popped early in the year, so I'll fully admit that was not a good decision. He's picked up and is kind of his go-to receiver, but still, there's a lot of variability in his receivers. So obviously, two of the best quarterbacks in fantasy, the best running backs, and then Pollard. Again,
Pollard can't put up the numbers. I think so.
Yeah.
I think because right now they got that thing going where they are running Zeke and Pollard, pretty well together. I mean, they're both putting up big numbers. But I think Pollard's really the back that they put the ball. That's who's taking most of those touches there. But yeah.
Yeah, great win for Josiah as far as just to keep him going. Carter, not going to be shot around, but 10 straight losses, tough. It's tough to take.
All right, we have Justin versus Walt. Walt pulling this one out, but really at what cost? Losing Lamar Jackson. What can you say?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you would have obviously asked, or I guess asked Justin really, hey, you're going to play for a chance to make playoffs, and your opponent's going to get 0 from a quarterback, would you take that? Obviously, the answer is yes. Unfortunately, Jimmy kind of showed it's true this week, and you really just, unfortunately, I'm just going to be honest, you didn't draft very and it showed this week because you could points in a matchup where really you had your quarterbacks do enough. It was just the rest struggled. On the flip side, you have Walt, who his team's weird. Like he's 6-7,
really
he's under 500,
yeah.
but it's like he's got obviously he's got an automatic advantage tight end position week in, week out. I know Kelly didn't do this week, but like that's huge. Delvin Cook, who is
Right.
historically a top 5 running back. You have, he had Connor, he upgraded to the backfield of the Bengals, who I don't care if it's P. Ryan or if it's Mixon, you're going to have a really strong team there. I just think, I think he's got a little bit, of roster construction he's got to figure out, like third receiver, Cup got hurt, and
Joe Mixon's coming back.
Yep. Yeah. So
So
he's got Mixon coming back. He's got, I think he's got a good team. Obviously, it's kind of weird. He takes one step forward, 2 steps back with it. So, it wouldn't surprise me if he wins this next week, makes the plus an egg, in that first round against Logan. At the same time, I think if you pulled Logan and said out of the 3, Walt, Justin, and Eddie do not want to play, it's probably Walt. So he's got to figure out his second quarterback because I think he gets in and he can immediately become a dangerous team because of some of the star players he has on his roster.
Well, we'll see when it comes to the next game. Again, another easy one. This is the West version of Josiah versus Carter. This was definitely going to happen. Your team's looking really good. Really just need to know what Kamaro's doing. Besides that, the team looks great. You're moving in with that bye, putting Kyle into the Shadow Realm. He's officially in there, so sorry, buddy. You're out.
I mean, obviously, never. It was kind of bitter to see the win clinched basically the division. So that was great. I'm by now, and obviously we'll earn my back. So that's the sweet bitter is the fact that Kyle is officially shut around. We don't have a shut around matchup, which has obviously been really entertaining throughout the last few years. Kyle's team, you want to blame injuries or whatever else. It just he couldn't put together a stronger and couldn't find a way to win games. So I think he'll have to use this next year to better himself as a fantasy owner. Hopefully did, and we've seen Logan been able to rebound and come back. As you mentioned, Kamara, he's been a disappointment. There's a few other guys on the team that I have to figure out as far as to make sure my lineup's best it can be for the playoffs, which we'll talk about once we get to standings and plus scenarios and stuff. But I'm fairly confident. The West has been a very division, as we've seen. So great to get this win and clinch the division and getting prepared for the playoff run now.
And bye, Kyle. Sorry, buddy. Officially, you're gone to the Shadow Realm with you. Last game, our game of the week. It was Mitchell versus Teddy. Teddy just put on a fucking clinic. Really took care of business. Fucking put Mitchell's face in the mud pretty early too. But looks strong. If he can continue to do this, this is going to be a very good playoff team right here.
Yeah, I mean he's benefiting from some things, right? Like his team found a way to win games despite his 4. Now his team's kind of rounded out into the type of team he thought he'd have. But Jalen Hurts is obviously a real quarterback. He's got Kyler Murray coming off a bye. He should be healthy. McCaffrey's only better and better the more he gets comfortable with that offense. David Montgomery is a stud, not only because of the player he is, but now backup Herbert is hurt, or he should be getting more touches. Keenan Allen's finally, even though Ayuk didn't have a game, he's been really, really good. So the long story short is Teddy's team is on the way up. Mitchell's team is, I mean,
I personally think that he's going to be a one and done. He is going to, if he does get into the playoffs, he's going to get spanked. Within the first game, I think he's going to go in and be right out.
he doesn't really strong quarterback, right? Because Andy Dalton is not good, and Trevor, it seems like, he's not going to play. He's got Kenneth Walker, who to kind of show that rookie struggle. If that is, something that if that is a thing, I don't know. I mean, usually you don't see rookies explode and then fall off the face of the earth, but it seems like that's what's happening. Devontae's, probably, yeah, he's ranked the number 1 fan receiver, so he's got that. Turns stud. So and obviously, but he's got players like Mark Andrews that performed. He's got kind of that Jekyll and Hyde where I think last week, to your point, he makes the playoffs. Walker goes off. Adams has an Adams. Andrews looks a little bit better.
Well, Devontae's going to be on a bye.
Davante Adams is playing on Thursday.
What do I have here? I have. Let me get back further in my notes, and I'll find out what I was going to talk shit about his team for.
Terry McLaurin and Andy Dalton have a bye, and
that's who it was.
Trevor Lawrence is questionable, so he might only have one quarterback now he could pick up. So there's some options he could make work. Point is, if he does beat Bill, right, he is going to be one of those teams in the playoff. He could go out there the playoffs and he could score 170 points. That's not team capability because he has Adams, number 1 receiver. Walker can put up 20, 30 points. Cooper's done some really nice things. Mark Andrews, when he's healthy, good tight end. Trevor Lawrence, when he's healthy, good quarterback. So his team's good enough in the playoffs, but he also could make playoffs and score 20 points under his season average. Even 30 points under his season average, with 70 points for the playoff and lose first round. So yeah, interesting. Big win for Teddy. He keeps his playoff hopes alive, and we'll talk about this in a minute. But Mitchell's now in a must win with a team that's banged up and on bye. So we'll see.
And Teddy also a must win here. But so we're going to go into the standings here. So let me see. We got this written down here. So first off, starting with the East. Correct me if I'm wrong. Josiah and Logan have already locked up their playoff spot. Walt, Eddie, and Justin are fighting for a spot. So if Walt wins and Justin loses, he will make the playoffs. If Eddie wins and Justin loses, Eddie will make it in. And then if Justin wins, him and Eddie both need to outscore Walt by 150 points for them to get to a 3-way tiebreaker for points for.
Yep.
Right? I was just kind of going off what Walt said there. You can go do the West here. I kind of have this a little bit.
Yeah, so I don't want to put the horse, but I basically have won the West. The only way I don't win the basically Bill or if Bill, the winner of Bill and Mitch, not only win, obviously they're going to, one of those two will win. They have to outscore me by like a lot of points. I'd basically have to start as and bye, and their team would have to go to 150 or 160 points. Same with Teddy. I mean, I don't think but so I basically clinched the West, which means I have the first round bye. Win and he's in. If Teddy wins, he's in. Or if he loses, he would need to make a lot of points for. Probably not going to happen. The winner of Bill and Mitchell is automatically in. The loser obviously could also get in with the toss. Okay. There's also some scenarios where if Mitchell wins and Teddy loses, he's outscored by a certain amount. So there is some variability in that as well. Right. So like Mitchell lost, but Teddy also scored points in him. Even though Teddy lost, he'd have the tiebreaker. So that's kind of the situation. Now I want to cover something that I know I've a little bit as far as me and Teddy's match. I'm in a situation where, again, the possibility this could backfire. If I lose this week and somehow have Bill or Mitchell or Teddy score enough to beat me, I would be playing next week. And obviously I don't want that to happen. I'd also lose out on the money you win as the division winner. But that's take that risk. And because of that, I'm playing a lineup that is not ideal to win this week. Let me say this: I'm playing the very best team I can with the roster. What's that?
I was going to get into that when we came to the game, but I completely agree with it's unfortunate.
Let's save that then. Let's save that for the
preview.
For the previews.
Yeah,
but we'll to your point, the playoffs are pretty much set. As far as the scenarios are pretty bright. The shadow realms, obviously, as we've talked about, settled. So Kyle's shadow realm. You and Carter this week don't do anything. You're just getting ready to make a run for the consolation, whereas everybody in Carter in the East still has a chance. As we mentioned, the West is down to spots for 3 teams.
Right. It's a crazy time. What do you call this? The witching hour? We're playoff aspirations.
Yeah, 2-minute warning of the witching hour.
Yeah. So I wanted to, it's nothing serious before we bring on our guest here. I did want to show that we have the winners bracket here. I understand that it's not right, but ESPN says that the West is better than the East. Just wanted to make that point. There was more West teams in there than there were East teams, so ESPN made the call. And then the consolation bracket. So my idea, we don't have to discuss this now, but so let's just say Kyle goes into the shadow realm because he's 1-12. It's not good at all. But for some miraculous way, he wins the consolation bracket. Does he still then get shadow realm?
Yes, but I think to your point of, so basically you're going to have 6 teams that are longer able to make the playoffs, right? And go into the consolation.
Right.
Do we do a separate bracket like this where we really should have rules written down and it should be black and white? Because my question would be, and let's say whichever team, Mitchell, Bill, and Teddy don't make the playoffs, should almost get like a first round bye isolation bracket because they were like the best record or most points for, or however you want it. Because then you would take the remaining. There's 6 teams that make consolation. You got Kyle shadow round, then you would take then you would take the number 1 team left with there's 4 teams.
Right, and you would have the best consolation player against the worst, and you work your way up that way. But if you had it that way, by some miraculous, something crazy happens, and this person that was shadow realm went all the way through and won the consolation bracket, wouldn't you you can't shadow realm them then, right? I feel like that would be. I feel like then it would go to the next person.
This should be like, because there's a few things here that are very that we know, and you would hope that this would never happen. But like, what is Kyle from just like not looking at his team, dropping his players and like his season? So like either you make a rule where like, hey, if you get shadow, like as soon as you get shadow around, you are set. Like, so this week, obviously, Kyle, you're playing you, so like the matchup doesn't matter, but it does for the fact seeding in the consolation bracket. So like you have to make a scenario where, like, if Kyle is shadow round, what is his responsibility? Like, is it like his team is no longer like active and it's like whatever ESPN projects you, or do you make some way he can, I wouldn't say get unshadowed, but like something he could play for? Because the other thing to think about is like, to your point, he wins the consolation. I don't think he should be unshadowed, prevent somebody from not having the chance to pick their draft pick. So there be, something you could do is, basically there's nothing in place for this. Something that,
Right. And that was just
uh,
something I was bringing up. I thought would be different because I was thinking about that possibility. What if Kyle just goes through and wins it? And like I was just thinking, like at that point, you would like you can't really. I don't feel like you should shadow the person if like it's giving them something to work forward to. So they're still going to be making transactions. They're still going to be doing stuff to try
right,
to
which
make
is
their
best
team
for the
better.
league.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and it would be the best. I think that if you were to win, you're the best loser. So why should you be? I mean, if you're 1-12, you're obviously going to lose the entire time. But we can get into it later. Let's bring our guest down that's been patiently waiting.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Hell
What's
yeah.
up, D?
How's it going? I love that you got the logo in there. Continuity, it shows
I,
I'm not just gone and forgotten.
I went back and
Um,
searched it out for you, buddy.
hell yeah. It's great.
So, Deeds,
All right.
let's start with this. How has the last year treated you as far as being Shadow? How has that been on like a weekly basis? Having to deal with the group chat, just kind of through the last year.
Well, it's been pretty similar. Just doing other fantasy leagues. Not really having the luck. Say it's been a pretty rough stretch for the D train. And D's nuts. Missed playoffs in 2 of my 3 leagues, so it seems we haven't figured it out. Injuries or whatever it is, bad management. Haven't really reflected too hard on the Shadow Realm ban and tried to fix these mistakes that got me here in the first place. But
Well, that kind of leads into my next question. Well, I was going to say, since you're coming back into the league, are you going to be like? Is there a different strategy now coming in?
I think seeing, playing in some different scoring leagues, there's some variabilities to account for. But I do have a strategy in place that I think if I can get certain players and their services, that I'll be good to go. Next year, I'll come back and maybe make a splash like Logan did.
Yeah, I was going to say one of your
Well,
strategies, you have Seth draft your team because that obviously has worked pretty
I'm
well
gonna have to
for.
get his number, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe make a list.
No, I mean, I guess one of the questions I kind of would have is, this is what anybody's ever asked Logan, who was the first at Shadow Realm. So I'm going to ask you is, obviously we all think the Shadow Realm is a very unique part of the league. I guess after spending an entire year away, do you think the Shadow Realm is like things that makes like sense for the fantasy league? Do you think it's a positive? Like, what are your thoughts on our rule of banning someone for an entire year?
I guess it's different for different people. I've been in this league for 10 years now. And then for that rule, like Logan was in the league, but maybe like 5, 6 years, for the continuity or whatever, I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever, but definitely makes you think on, making sure you're setting that lineup and really focusing on drafting the right players. Say it's just something Mitch likes to do these little things. Not everyone agrees with them, but he is the commissioner, so it's his rules. I don't feel super strongly either way.
now, are you going to have any? Do you have any words for your brother as he's starting to enter the Shadow Realm now?
Just
Any
I'll
words
have
of
to
wisdom?
dust off the don't and make sure it's nice and clean for you. Maybe the census people come around and we'll add the Dillbelt to the residency. So I don't know.
Gets to stay in the same house.
Yeah, it's pretty bad for you, bro. But you just gotta read the articles, maybe get some software like Eddie. I don't know. I think it's just you gotta know what's going on. I mean, come on,
So
you gotta get in there.
I guess
It's $100.
you kind of mentioned that your other leagues. Sometimes that might allow you to look at the way other leagues do things, other commissioner owners do things. Do you have any advice of like some change? You know, we've kind of talked on this podcast, but also like, hey, what about doing this, whether it's PPR or the format of scoring? Is there anything that you would possibly see move, or that maybe you've witnessed or experienced in other leagues better, help this league become more better?
Well, starting with bonus points, I think that's in this league. I think it's in a good spot where it is. Like one of my leagues, it's like a bonus for 40+ yard touchdown and a 50+ yard touchdown. Like most of the time, if you're having the big play, it's going over 50 yards. So like that's like 5 extra bonus points. It just gets crazy with the bonus points. So I think that is really good where it's at here. Not the biggest fan of PPR. I don't know. It's just there's a lot of variability, with the scoring and that super high scoring, which high scoring is fun, but just having guys go out there catching 13 passes, is kind of crazy. Or especially if it's like a running back, it's just a dump off, like no real skill involved with that. I have been pretty outspoken about the decimal points, or
I like that.
like getting that 10th yard for that extra point. Feel like it'd be more realistic to have each yard accounted for and not these certain thresholds. If you know what I mean. But I think it's pretty weird seeing that just the 9, the 10, 11, because none of my leagues are like that. But I feel like they would eliminate some of the
something different
tiebreaker problems. Yeah.
Which
The
actually
volume
this
point.
year we haven't actually had any problems with the whole
Sure.
tying, which is very bizarre. We've had a couple of games like that at least once a year for the past, I don't know, at least 4 years.
Right. Well,
And
yeah,
I believe we're going to get rid of it up until this year, or including this year. There was the whole home field advantage about that Walt awarding the same home games to owners. And obviously I dug back even, at your season. And I know every argument I made, Walt was able to base all of this that. But the point is there was because we weren't monitoring home games, somebody got that point did matter. So if you get rid of that, and then you add in the decimal point, it's more true to who had the better team. So I definitely think that we should bring that up maybe in the next before the next year's draft. If
it can be done right, it is a fun little thing, that extra 1 point, make the home matchups and away matchups matter a little bit. Just have to make sure the numbers are all right and fair for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, there's a right way and wrong way to do it. I think if you found the right way to do it, which was obviously have the same amount of home games as away games, or if you wanted to say, hey, playoffs, you get and you don't make the playoffs, you get one extra game. Like that would be kind of it probably wouldn't matter in the long run, but I know that would also be very hard on Walt. So I don't want to add any more to his.
Sure.
Yeah, because those poll questions are just that's a really hard job he's got going on. That I don't think we
Yeah.
have one this week again. Final week, you'd think we'd get one of those, but obviously not. But any more questions? You've answered all my questions. What about you, Moose?
Yeah, Deeds obviously this year, as Lowe's shown, you can come back here and make immediate and we're looking forward to the 2023 season and Eagles obviously are off to a great so hopefully they finish
Go Birds.
strong and hopefully we see at the Super Bowl league party.
Oh yeah.
Let's do some picks here. I know that you've got your lock of the week.
It's quick. I know there's a lot to go over for the league going in the playoffs, but I'm taking the Broncos Chiefs game. I am 500 on the year, so need to get this over 500. So under in the Broncos Chiefs game.
All right. So now we're going to move into week 14. Dale, we're going to have you pick some of these. I know that you said you haven't been paying attention to the show, but what we're going to be doing is making some picks here. So first game we got up for week 14. We got Logan versus Carter. I know I said Logan isn't going to win another game. This is going to be Carter's breakthrough. He's not losing this week. Jamar Chase is coming back. He's got that garbage quarterback, so he's not going to be getting any points for Logan. I'm calling this game right now. I don't make predictions. 110-103 Carter.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll take Carter to win this. He's going to get off the 10.
Oh, I got to go Logan here. His team looks pretty potent here on paper. I mean, it's a phrase that everyone loves to throw around, but looking at his receivers, that's dangerous. Jared Goff, he can always put up some big numbers.
I mean, Logan did a good job in this team.
Yeah, it was really good. And he's traded away basically everybody except for Geno Smith. But all right, we're going to go to the next game. We have Justin versus Josiah. This is a must-win for Justin, so he's really got to pull it out. But I think Josiah is going to win this one.
Yeah, I obviously am rooting for him to win because I think it would cause some more chaos, obviously in the playoff scenario. But team showed you week in week out he's got a very strong lineup, so I'm going to take Josiah.
Yeah, I'm also looking at Josiah to get his 11th straight win. Is it
10th?
10th straight. Okay.
Yeah, very impressive.
I'm not liking the Denver receiver combo here. Tom Brady, not what he used to be. I think he's lost a step finally. Took him long enough.
Well, Justin also has Christian Watson, who's been his star player for him for the past probably 3 weeks, and he's going to be on a bye. He's on a bye this week, so that's a tough one.
Zonovan Knight in there. Pretty unfortunate having to dig that deep in the well this late in the season. I can't see the rest of his team, but he's played well the past 2 weeks. But
you taking Josiah in this one?
Yeah, 11-2, Cy. Look at that.
Look at that. Look at one of his rings might actually be relevant here this year. Next up, we have Teddy versus Moose. So this is where, listen, I completely understand. Like this, what just happened to Walt. This just happened to Josiah this year. Unfortunately, this is unfortunately it's week 14, and a lot of these other people need wins, but it's fine. You shouldn't be able to go and pick up players. You're playing your
Right.
team as is.
Yep.
You're gonna we're not making any exceptions here. Let's play the game.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
it sucks. I mean, at the end of the day, you should have won more games.
Yeah. So long story short, I'm not playing for anything. I've already locked up my seeding, obviously, and the division championship. So I'm not going to play another game until week 16. So my decision was I keep a third quarterback, and that was between the shitty backup for the Rams, might not even play, or pick up Lamar's backup by the time I play in week 16, might not be the starter anymore. Pick up Niners' new quarterback, who, again, if he doesn't play well, they're going to give Joe Johnson. So there wasn't an autumn pickup. So that's why I decided to not take back. The other thing was I wanted to pick up my defenses for week 16 and 7. I picked up 2 defenses. So now I'm running 2 defenses. So therefore, my bench, there's not a single person on my bench that I want to drop in order to pick up a quarterback, and then same thing with tight end. I don't want anybody to pick up a tight end because my tight end's on high. So I am not playing purposely on buys in my spot. Like I'm still playing very best lineup I can. I'm trying to win. But at the time, it's the same thing as if, let's just say week 4, right? You have all of which you really, really like. In week 4, you have one guy, you have one quarterback playing, and then your third quarterback gets hurt. You can only roster 3 quarterbacks. You have to make a decision that week. Do you start a position player in your open, or do you drop one of your 3 quarterbacks you really, really like, pick up a 4th? And you've mentioned this, Mac, and I've mentioned that people have chosen time and time again to pick up that quarterback, a lineup that is not necessarily the best lineup. Josiah did the same thing with a tight end this year. The tight end, he played a hurt guy because he didn't want to drop anybody. So I think, in my opinion, statement, hey, Matt should be able to get an exemption. Well,
No.
why? Just because it's week 14?
And
I got an
he
exemption.
needs to win. Yeah, and he
We
needs
didn't
to
give
win.
we didn't give
And
Josiah an exemption in week 4.
And Mitchell started Jameis Winston when he wasn't on, so we should have got an exemption there. I think
that was a
it's
Mitchell
stupid.
mistake.
Yes,
I'm
I
starting the
understand
best
that,
lineup.
Right,
And
but at the end of the day,
yeah,
you're handcuffed. You have nothing you can do.
it would have been if I was starting Kamara on a buy on purpose. I was starting Justin Fields on a buy on this. Those guys are on my bench. I'm taking the best lineup I can. My current roster, and this roster is not what's for me in week 14 or 15. It's what's best for me in week 16. It's the same thing. Logan made a trade for 1 week, even though that wasn't the best decision for his team moving. So all of us fantasy managers need to do what's very best. Now, was clear collusion, or if I had texted Teddy on the side, hey, do you a favor and start a bunch of shitty players, that obviously got back to, and that was the truth. Punish me, kick the league, start people.
No,
you got Kamara.
Case. You have Kamara, Fields, Curtis Samuel, Taysom Hill, and Chris Olave, all which are starters on a bye this week. You have 5 players. That is ridiculous. I think this is so stupid. It's just more drama bringing into this league. Like, it is what it is. It's unfortunate. I mean, yeah, it sucks. I mean, I would be pissed too if I was in that situation and needed a win. But unfortunately, it's not it's out of their hands. It's just how the cookie crumbles. But I am taking Teddy in this one.
Yeah, and I was gonna say at the end of the day, Teddy still has to win. I'm still projected to at least be relevant. I'll score more than Carter's team. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I'm gonna give myself the nod. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna predict my team to win, but in reality, Teddy's probably gonna win.
What do you got here, Dale?
Yeah, just looking at it, it definitely hurts to not have your tight end and your receiver in your OP spot, if you will. So, but you got a solid solid squad here. These guys can pop, and it's not like a 90-10 chance. It's closer to 50-50, I think. I gotta go with my boy Jalen Hurts. So
Yeah, he's balling.
he gets it done. And that second quarterback, Kyler Murray, if those two go off, that'd be a weak winner right there. So
No doubt.
Taking Teddy.
yeah, take it, Teddy.
All right. Well, for this week, we're going to have 2 game of the weeks. So here's our first one. Have to do it because there are some pretty big games in both divisions, 4 games to make the playoffs. So the first one we have Teddy and Mitchell. I'm taking, or I mean, Teddy. Bill versus Mitchell. I'm going to take Bill on this one. He just got a better team. I just don't see it happening for Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell's obviously got a quarterback position because as of right now, options are Trevor Lawrence, obviously, who might be Andy Dalton's on a bye. His backup is Sam Darnold. Wouldn't be if he made a decision and picked up another quarterback. I'm looking at his roster right now. Mitchell's roster instructions makes no sense. He's been rostering defense all year long, rostering Odell Beckham Jr. And he has two. And he has kickers. Like, what are you doing, Mitchell? Anyways, I'm taking I don't care if Mitchell wants to say we talk shit about his team. Dude, why are you rostering 2 kickers, 2 defenses, and a guy's not so Odell Beckham gets picked up by the Cowboys, let's say Beckham gets picked up by the Cowboys next week, but he won't be in football shape and ready to get to know the full playbook and play at best until week 17. So you're really going to 17 when he's not
he said that he doesn't even feel like he's going to be back until mid-January.
Why is Mitchell rostering that? But Bill.
I don't know. I'm taking Bill.
Yeah, I'll have to go with Bill here as well. He seems to have a pretty consistent team here. Mitchell is very volatile, aside from maybe Devontae Adams. Walker, he's got that foot thing going on right now. Has been slowing down a little bit of late. He's that touchdown guy, though. You need touchdowns to win in this league. Mark Andrews, hasn't been it this year. Whatever is nagging him. So we're going Bill here.
Yeah, he's going to need a big game from Amari Cooper and Devontae Adams, and then from Stevenson too. That's really where his main source of points is really going to come from this week, I think. But you have Deshaun Watson. One, Bill has him, but also Deshaun Watson's not throwing the ball very well. And they were just showing practice. I was watching a little NFL Network this morning. They were showing his passing, and I don't even think his passing was still looking that great. So
he's definitely got some rust to shake off for sure.
Yeah, I just don't. Maybe it is. Maybe it is his game that he goes off. I just hope he doesn't hit Amari Cooper. But that's our first game of the week. Our second one is going to be Eddie versus Walt. I'm taking Walt on this one. He's going to have a good. I just don't know about starting 2 Cincinnati running backs.
Definitely in a precarious position here for Walt. Doesn't have that second quarterback, and Tyler Huntley, he's proven that he can be better than most of your injury pickups, but Justin Herbert's established. All Jamal Williams does score touchdowns. That's really important in this league. Mike White, he's slinging it,
But he's going to be going up against Buffalo. I don't know if I like that.
Well, the Bills aren't
not as scary
vaunted
as
yeah, for sure.
Von Miller's out, everything like that, but still, I don't know.
They're gonna have to throw.
Yeah.
I could probably see this game both teams scoring over 20 points easy. So
I might take Eddie here. I'm gonna be honest with you. Picked up Njoku.
He picked up Mills. And he played. He's going to play him since Mills was just announced today as a starter.
he sucks ass. Though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's going to get like 30 points. Allows him to actually have a set quarterback. Eddie has to win and has to have a J-Mac win. So obviously, there's a lot to have happen in the playoffs. You know, I do think due for like a 40-point game, one of those like Justin Herbert games. Because of that, I'm surprisingly going to take Eddie as well.
I think I'm going to take Eddie. I just changed my own mind on that. Dale, who do you got?
Well, you never know with Travis Kelce if he wants to score 3-4 touchdowns in a game, but I think I like Eddie here as well.
I mean, Tyler Huntley could go off. Tyler Huntley could actually have a good game.
It's a rivalry game, big rivalry game. Could be low
Dalvin
scoring.
Cook running against Detroit. I do like Detroit's defense, that front line though. But
Detroit, I love Detroit this year.
But I think
they're fighting to the end for sure.
I think Eddie's they've won 4 of 5 over the past 5 weeks, so that's not too bad. But yeah, so everyone's with Eddie this week.
They're all on Eddie.
All right. So the irrelevant game of the week, Kyle versus me.
Oh, it's so fitting.
This game has literally nothing, no complications really for anything. Maybe some seeding in the consolation bracket, but regardless, I don't have a defense this week. I've got Aaron Rodgers, AJ Dillon, the Packers D, and the Falcons D all out on bye. Kyle's missing Drake London, Brian Robinson, Alan Lazard, Paris Campbell, Jarvis Landry, and Matt Ryan this week.
Well, he's got 2 quarterbacks.
So he's missing a lot, but really this game doesn't matter for anybody. It's useless. I'm going to take Kyle actually on this one. I'm going to give him his second win of the season.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll take Kyle. Get off
the lead. We're all on Kyle.
Yeah, we're going to get
Kyle.
I'm not
Dameon
just giving
Pierce
it to you.
Going to get right.
This is the best. This is the best thing. I'm not going to go pick someone up. I'm not going to go waste another $1 or whatever, the $1.50 for transaction. There's no point in this. I'm heading in. We're on to Buffalo, or what does he say? We're on
to Cincinnati.
On to Cincinnati. We're moving into the playoffs there, so that game really doesn't matter. You got that right. I got it wrong last week. Mitchell also got it right, so we move. Kyle actually got kicked out, so Mitchell moves to 1-0. Dale, you're actually going to be the one to take this right now. If you get both of these picks right, you will be leading the board.
What does this mean?
This is just for fun. It's just the game of the week picks. When we have
I
guests
love
on,
the pictures. The pictures are amazing.
They get to pick their. Everyone gets to pick a game, and we'll see who has the best record.
Oh, okay, an NFL game, or
no, the
games we just picked.
Oh,
the
okay.
Game of the week.
Yeah.
But that's all I've got for you.
I can jump to the top of the leaderboard if I get both of them right.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I've got nothing else for you. Dale, thanks for coming on. I know it was last minute.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
Matt, you got anything else?
No, good luck to match up with Bill and Mitchell, and then I was Teddy, and then Walt, Eddie, and luck in the playoffs. So, dude, this is funny. I just noticed someone's doing a chat. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
I believe it's Mitchell. because he
I'm
also
gonna read.
says
I'm gonna
it's pretty good.
find your
I think
notes. I want to hear more bad things about shit wrestling team. Easy, don't hurt yourself with all those brilliant ideas. All I want for Christmas is for Moose to get better internet connect. Don't fuck the bonus points. I like this guy. We don't.
Who's Carl Havoc? Who's that?
We don't
pretty-
what you mean.
I'm
Let's
pretty
see
sure it's Mitchell.
the text. Open
Carl
Teddy.
Havoc.
You want to see digital wrestling team? Yeah, fuck that. Volatile. Who the fuck does this guy is? You're telling me he's gonna get points from players on his team? Really never thought of it that way.
Carl Havoc,
Just thought funny guy.
funny guy. Well, I think the live is actually the better way to do this.
Yeah.
I think get a little more chat in there, and then it will upload right to YouTube. But all right, guys, great show. Peace out.
Yep.
Good to see you guys.
Thank